Welcome to Attracting Your Life. I'm your host, Maisha, and we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I hope you guys had a great week. I know I did. I was awesome. Finishing the 4th of July weekend, my husband and I, we went to St. Lucia and had an awesome time. If you have the luxury of living close to the ocean, you know how the ocean waters is such a healing waters, and just being at the beach, I think I was there every day. I'm actually going through some withdrawals right now, but it was wonderful. It was really a healing experience. Ocean waters are just wonderful for the soul, the skin, your spirit, everything. I just felt so alive. I know this week may be a transitioning week for everyone if you feel it, because we have the new moon, July new moon, Cancer moon. So this has the power to transform, inspire you to the next step of your power energy. And so tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. We did have a guest scheduled for tonight, but at the last minute, they had to back out for situations unbeknownst to them. But we're still going to go with the flow, and we're going to talk about the new moon and how this energy of the July new moon is a time for you to really make a major turning point. It's a powerful season. And so I hope I can go over your questions that you may have or concerns. If you do have any questions, you can always call in at 866-451-1451. Otherwise, you can email me at mpb@attractingyourlife.com. And as always, like I start the segment to kind of let you know that if you ever miss a show, you can always look up the podcast from previous shows on iHeartRadio or Apple iTunes. Just look up Attracting Your Life or look up my name, Maisha Bradford, and you will find the past shows. So that's always a good way to kind of catch up and kind of learn different aspects of things that we talked about. So, like I said, July is a major turning point in 2018 as it begins a powerful season. In 2018, we're going to have 3 new supermoons. So this July, we have a supermoon. It's a time that you're going to feel different type of energy. And new and full moons are at the point where they are considered super when they're closest to the earth. In 2018, there's going to be 3. One tomorrow on June 13th. The next one will be July 13th. Third one will be August 11th. So the next 3 new moons are going to be considered supermoons. And that means that they're the closest and the largest than regular new moons. And unlike full moons, you can't really see them. New moons is the dark part of the moon. It's when it's hidden. And like I said, you typically don't see it, not even during a supermoon will you be able to see it. But the earth and people who are in tune with the energy of the moon will feel it. Because remember, 75% of our body is water. So just like how the Earth's ocean is affected by the moon, so are we affected by the moon. This super new moon that's going to occur tomorrow is an extra close new moon and will combine with the gravitational pull of the sun to give a rise to a wide range of spring tides, emotional feelings, and you may find extra time of high and low. You'll feel different within the next few days, but kind of go with it, feel it, understand the energy. And I always say by understanding the energy, it gives you the power to really hone in on the possibilities of what the energy has to offer to you. So not only is this a supermoon, this is also a partial solar eclipse on July 13th. And so when it's a solar eclipse, that's when the sun and the moon are kind of lining together, but it's going to be a partial one. So eclipses are also powerful lunar lunations that brings a life-altering circumstances, which is why most people tend to become hesitant whenever one is approaching. They are one of a nature's greatest spectacles. So this month, the first of the 3 in the summer, is you will feel super part of the moon, and the fact that it is a partial eclipse is going to be a stronger force of energy than normal. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon is in between the earth and the sun, which is also referred by astrologers as the sun-moon conjunction. And at this very moment, the moon is blocking the sunlight, which symbolizes a state of darkness for all mankind. But darkness doesn't mean that it's something bad, but it's hidden. This is the time of like planting seeds and creating new ideas for yourself. Now, as human beings, we have a tendency to work with what we have, but that doesn't mean that you can't create new ideas. Most people are just about habits and just doing things the same thing over and over. I invite you to try to take this time of this super partial eclipse new moon to create new habits for yourself. This is exactly where the life changing can occur through this eclipse energy. It's that moment that when the moon and the sun is kind of putting things together for the universe, but also can put things together for yourself. Take that time to kind of really think about different ways of viewing things that are currently happening in your life and what you want what you want to occur going forward. It's a time of reflection. Always during a new moon is always a time of a reflection of what you want to create in your life for the next 6 months. So the new moon represents the start of a new lunar cycle that occurs approximately every 29 days. When there's a new moon, the earth, moon, and the sun are positioned in a line in line, right? That's the way astrologers would say it, but we can see the new moon in the sky. We can't see the new moon in the sky, but that doesn't mean that it's not a time for reflecting. It's just like when a woman is pregnant or when you're planting a seed, it's always inner. It starts with the inner growth, right? So this is a time to really reflect about your inner growth and the inner things that you would like to create in your life. So why is the phases of the moon important? As I've said over and over and at the previous show, it's very powerful and it's responsible for moving the ocean tides, the growth of plants, and like I said before, 75% of our body is of water, so it affects humans as well, and it's a powerful energy force. The new moon is the opportunity to start afresh of your dreams and your desires. So take this time to reflect it. What do you want to create within the next 6 months? Where do you see yourself? How do you think that the opportunities that present in your life can be changed to make them concrete? So we'll talk about this more. We're going to go to a commercial break. Once again, this is Maija, your host, and you're listening to Attracting Your Life, and we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This is Attracting Your Life, and I'm your host, Maija. And once again, we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And before the break, we were just kind of talking about the new moon and what is this energy? What is this type of time? And this is a time to achieve, to reflect. What are your goals and what do you want to start? What new projects do you want to go forward and to kind of put steps in making it happen? During the new moon, take the time to reflect back on old goals that you had set for yourself that maybe you didn't accomplish. What can you do different to make it happen? Why did it not occur for you? Take the time to reflect on these. I always tell my clients, and even as a family, my boys and I, we write things on index cards, and it looks like a recipe box. I guess that's the best way to do it. It's like for my boys, they use a little small recipe box. I use like a nice old jewelry box, and I write my desires on index cards and I put it in there, and I kind of make steps on how to do it, and I reflect on it on a weekly basis. And I help my sons, and as I've told you before, I have a 9 and a 5-year-old, and actually this is a normal practice for them. So they kind of help us, the adults, to be responsible about it. So if our words are not lining up with our desires, they're quick to kind of put me in line and say, hey, mommy, really? Do you want to say that? That's kind of contradicting with what you want to create for yourself. And that makes you think about things. Think about how your words, your feelings, and how that has to line up with the goals that you write on your index card. You really need to, like the Bible says, it says, like, basically put a bit in your mouth, because your tongue, that little small piece, can make or break the things that you would like to accomplish in your life. And it's being more conscious of your feelings and being more conscious of your words. We are such powerful beings that I've expressed in the previous show. Your heart sends out the same magnetic waves that created the universe. Electronic and magnetic waves that create the universe are the same type of waves that are emanated with your heart. So the feelings that you're feeling, make sure that those feelings are in line with the desires that you would like to create for yourself in the next 6 months. And this is the time to really analyze, what do you want to create? What is your desire? What is it that you would like to see happen in your life with this next 6 months? And what are the steps you're going to take? So, how do you use the new moon energy? The new moon energy can be powerful. Tapping into this energy can support your dreams and your desires. We can harness that energy of the new moon to fulfill our vision, our desire, by making a true statement of creation during this time. And it doesn't have to be formal. You could just take a piece of paper, take your journal, and kind of write out, make a list. Other people like rituals. I am a strong proponent about using rituals because rituals help change your subconscious mind. From all type of religious practices, they use rituals. If you study the Jewish and Christian culture, and I'm sure the Islam culture, I'm not familiar with it, but I do know now because of our guest that we had 3 weeks ago, it's so tied into the same bases of the foundations of the Jewish and the Christian culture. Rituals are founded a lot of religious cultures. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And so you can use rituals in your practices of creating your desire to manifest in your life. So, but whatever ritual you use, make sure that you make it something that's your own. And like I said, my family and I, we created our own ritual. I do something with my clients sometimes, but it should be a time that you can relax. Use candles if that makes you feel comfortable, or incense. This is something individuals. So some people they need something visual, like a candle, to help them fall in a meditative state. Other people use their sensory of smell, so the incense may be the best for them. Others, it's sound, so they may need to use some type of meditation music. I find YouTube to be very helpful, and if you could try to find something with beta sounds or theta sounds to kind of help you get into a meditative state when you're like kind of thinking and contemplating, brainstorming of what you wanted to create. What is your desire? Or drums. Sometimes shamanic drums can helps you get into that meditative state. Whatever it is, kind of play around with what works with you and make your own personal ritual. I find it to be very rewarding to know it's coming, and kind of embracing your family or embracing certain friends to participate with you. I'm looking forward to what my family and I are going to do tonight, and I'm going to connect with some friends tomorrow on doing our ritual. And it's always a time to kind of reflect individually, but if you can come in as a community, iron sharpens iron. So, like I explained, I think 2 shows ago, make sure the people who are in your inner circle that you're sharing your desires are vision keepers, people who are going to make you accountable. I'm blessed to have 2 sons who are vision keepers. They help me to be accountable for things that I would like to happen and occur in my life. I help them to be accountable about things that they want to happen in their life. And it's important to have your inner circle with vision keepers. And as I stated before, if you don't have that in your inner circle, make the investment to hire a coach or find someone who can be that for you. And sometimes you have to make an investment. And even with friends, there is an investment, there's an exchange. There should be an exchange. You should be there for them. They should be there for you. I don't want to go into it too much, but just make sure that whoever you're going to do rituals with are people who are close to you, who you know that are vision keepers, who can help you to be accountable about it and to help you with the process of making that desire a reality. So I think I was just kind of talking to you about rituals. So, whatever you need to use, a candle, incense, music, and you'll know just by listening to your heart, you'll understand what works for you. And writing down on a paper what you truly desire for your life is important. Be transparent to yourself about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, about being transparent about the desire that you want, when we come back from a commercial break. Once again, you're listening to Attracting Your Life. I'm your host, Maija, and we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Stay tuned. Be real with yourself. Listen to your heart. Write it down on paper what you truly desire for your life. There's no such thing as asking for too much. Keep listing the things, and you're going to scratch things out. You're going to kind of tweak the way you put the words together. And let me talk about, how do you write it out? Always create it in the present tense. It's not, I will create a loving relationship, or I will get a new car. It's, I am the owner of a new car. I am in a loving relationship. Talk in the present moment and try to make it with the I am words. There's power in stating your affirmations or stating your desires with the I am. And we can talk about that more in a different show. But people who work with me, I have expressed and I've really dug in with the power of the I am. And I'm not trying to get really super religious, but in most religions, they talk about how we were created in the image and likeness of God, source energy, whatever you would like to call it. And when people use that I am word in a negative way, and they wonder why things happen in their life, like, I'm tired. And then they wonder why they're always tired, or they have iron deficiency, or they're always depressed. It's because they're constantly saying, I'm tired, or I am this, I'm sad, I'm that. Just watch the words or watch the phrase that you put starting off with the I am. Be cognitive of your words. Once again, make sure your statements, your words, your conversations are in lining up with the desires that you're creating. Your desire is something that should be focused on you, not other people. Because remember, you can't change other people, but you can change the way you react to other people. You can change your behaviors that you don't like about how another person affects you. You can't change the other person, but you can change your way that that person affects you. For example, I have no problem sharing my business, but there was a time that I wanted to create something in my life. And I remember they would never allow me to say, when I say they, when I would go into prayer and when I was reflecting, I was never able to really say my mate's name. They would always just say husband, or say that you desire a child. So it's about understanding that, like, if you're in a relationship, you can't say, I am in a loving relationship with Steve, who treats me well. Remember, it's not about Steve, and I'm just making up a name. It's about you and how you accept the love that is given to you by a mate. And if it's not the way that you want it, how you're able to release people who are not treating you the way you want to be treated. I kind of hope that I kind of went over that in a clear way, because so many times we sometimes get focused about other people, trying to change other people, or focusing on other people, and we can't change other people. We can only change ourselves, which eventually will influence and encourage other people to change. It's amazing that when you focus on your way that you react to other people, they notice that what they used to do doesn't bother you the same, and then they start reacting different. It's amazing how you can change your environment just by changing yourselves and how you view those environment. But once again, write everything down that you want to create, and try to make a contract with yourself. Try to understand that your everyday words, your everyday thoughts, your everyday feelings is going to affect with the desire that you're trying to create under this new moon within the next 6 months. So when you write a contract to yourself, you may want to say things as if, I'm going to look at this card every day, because looking at this index card every day is going to remind me of what I'm creating within the next 6 months. Or I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes a day, feeling the effects as if what I desire has already come to pass. Do something that will remind you of the feeling of as if it already occurred, whatever you're trying to create in your life. So back to creating a ritual for yourself for today and tomorrow. Clear your energy, get centered. You may want to take a salt bath, or kind of clean up your space. This is something that, I don't know, I really believe in, is about just being clean in your energy, clean in your physical sense. Declutter things in your life. Decluttering really helps you have a sense of peace. You may want to use sage to kind of clean the house. And kind of talked about this before, sage and Palo Santo. I think I said it right. It's like a stick, it's a wooden stick, and you can even find it at Whole Food. And you kind of sweep your house with this stick or with the smoke that comes from the stick or the sage, and you kind of sweep it out of your house. You're sweeping out negative energy out your house from the back door and from the front door. I have a 2-level house, and I always start from upstairs with the rooms, and I kind of sweep with the energy and the smoke down to the front door, and then from the areas in the back door, and then to the basement door. And I do this like whenever I have like people coming in, like we bought a new washer and dryer. And when the delivery truck came in, and not to say that these were bad people, but sometimes you can feel a shift of energy in your house because of cable guys coming in, people coming in, or you had a party and a whole bunch of people coming in your house. It's time for you to kind of just clean out the energy in your house. And Paul Santano stick, which you can find at Whole Food, or sage you can find at Whole Food, is a great way to do that. Get grounded. And what does that mean? Connect with the elements of the air, water, fire, and earth. Sometimes I walk around in my backyard barefoot just to kind of get centered and connected with the ground. This is a process that kind of helps both you and your surroundings to get grounded into the earth. All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about some other things that can help you with your ritual and kind of creating your desires under the new moon. You're listening to Attracting Your Life. I'm your host, Maija, and stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This is Attracting Your Life, and I'm your host, Maija. And once again, we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And right before our commercial break, we were talking about getting grounded. And I expressed quickly, but I just kind of want to touch base again about how it's important to get connected with the elements of air. Go outside, stand in the fresh air. It's wonderful. Water, you might want to take a bath. I touched on that before. Fire. If you're into visual, you may want to light a candle. And the earth, get connected to the ground. Just take off your shoes, take off your sandals, and just kind of feel the grass under your feet. If you are living in a place that you don't have a backyard or don't have the ability to stand on ground, drive to the lake if you can, get to the lakefront, or also have a plant near you, because sometimes just having a plant, you're connecting yourself to the earth. That's a way of doing that. If all else fails, you can always meditate on hardwood floor. Try to stay away from carpet. Like if you're trying to do a grounding meditation, try to be on a natural substance. Have your feet connecting to a natural substance. So I remember when I was in college, we had linoleum floor. I think I'm saying it right. And I remember when I came back home from the holidays, I actually bought a little square of wood. It was like a little tile square of wood that I kept under my bed. And whenever I did a meditation, I'd just pull it out just so I can keep my feet on a natural substance to help me get grounded. So there's a lot of ways to do this. Just be creative about it and make it your own ritual. So setting your intention. So within the next, within the next couple of days. So within 3 days before the actual new moon, which is already passed, but I mean, those 3 days are already passed, or even 3 days after, anytime between July 9th and July 15th. How about that? Try to start setting your intentions, thinking about it. And then once you get your list together, declare to your group or to yourself of what is your desire, what you envision for yourself, and declare boldly. I expressed to you about writing it out and making sure that you use those I am words. So when you speak them out loud, be very bold about it. Get physical when you're saying it. Just kind of like feel yourself being in that desire, being that whatever you would like to create in your life within the next 6 months. And try to have something that symbolizes your intentions of what you're trying to manifest. At one point when I was trying to get a car, I actually had a Matchbox car, kind of what looked like what the car I wanted to create. Have some type of symbol so you can recognize or kind of look at it. It's not just looking at your index card. Sometimes you can just want to look at that symbol or draw a picture or get a picture from the magazine of what you want to happen or what you want to express. Now, what's the most important part of your ritual is the expression of gratitude. From your heart and from your soul, believe that this is already manifested and express gratitude. And that should be done as often as possible. Expressing gratitude for a manifestation that is coming into your life is almost, it's like you're opening the door for it to come in. I can't express when we get discouraged because we don't see it quickly with our material eyes, how you basically cancel out the ways that you're setting out to the universe of what you want. Stand in that gratitude, stay in that position, that feeling of as if it already has occurred. I always ask my clients, and I remember I've said this on the radio show, remember, how does it feel as if you already had it? So if you're trying to create new love in your life, you're trying to create a new job in your life, I'll always ask, how would it feel when you have that job or when you find that mate, when you're in that loving relationship? Some people say, they're elated, they have joy, they feel peace. Well, then stay in that feeling as you're creating this to happen and manifest in your life and express gratitude about it. It's extremely important to express gratitude. And another thing, act as if it's already occurred. So after your ritual ceremony for the next couple of days or until it comes, act as if those things, those desires, those things that you want to occur in your life has already occurred. You'll be surprised what can transpire in your life quickly between now and the next new moon, full moon, or within the next 6 months by acting as if it's already occurred. And acting includes your words, your thoughts, your expression. So if you're wanting a new love life, you want a new love mate, this is the time that you should be pulling out pull out those new cute dresses that you had. It's not waiting for you to find a date. Then you're going to wear the dress. Wear the dress on your own. Wear the dress when you're going out with your girls. Put those high heels on. If you know that you like to look a certain way, there's a certain perfume you like, and you want to draw that energy of being in love, wear it now. If there's certain music that you like to listen to when you're in love and when you're dating, listen to that now. Don't wait until it occurs because it occurs slowly if you're not acting as if. Because acting as if, having a state of gratitude makes it happen quickly. So I kind of helped you get some ideas about rituals and what you can do. But, this new moon is a powerful new moon, as I expressed. It's a super new moon, and it's also a partial solar eclipse. And it's also a Cancer moon. So what is a Cancer new moon? It's we get to take a softer, sweeter look at our relationships, So this may be a good time under this new moon to work on relationships, loving relationships that you want to have. Look at your deep desires about relationships. I find this a time to kind of get closer to people that you want to express love to, whether it's your father, mother, or even your significant other or your children. And we'll talk about this a little bit more when we come back from commercial break. Once again, you're listening to Attracting Your Life. I'm your host, Maija, and stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Maija, and this is Attracting Your Life. And once again, we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And before the break, I was starting to tell you about the Cancer new moon. This is a Cancer new moon. And Cancer is a water sign, which means it's about honoring our emotions and our intuition. So I started talking to you right before the break about this is a time to look at relationships. It's about honoring the mothering energy, the loving energy, the protective, caregiving energy, your passion energy, preparing to share with your loved ones. And loved ones is an open definition. Whoever is of love for you or you would like to express your love, that's embodied in this. This is a time to look at that. People born under the Cancer are known for being sensitive, sentimental, homebodies, depending on what's going on. They have a sense of rest, and their birth chart, of course, may show that they fluctuate depending on where they kind of fall on their birth chart, but they're really known to be sensitive and sentimental. In fact, the new moon in Cancer is actually concerned with coming home, bringing that love back home, bringing that time to really connect with people that you love. Cancer is naturally ruled by the moon. So this is a great time to kind of look at deeper connections that you want to make. So here's some rituals that, or what, let me tell you more about this, about colors during this time. One more thing, since Cancer is all about building supportive relationships, homey environment, you may want to start incorporating some elements in your home and in your lifestyles with this new Cancer moon. The element energy is water. This might be a beautiful time to take baths. If you're in a relationship and you want to kind of get connected, take a bath together. That'll be wonderful. Colors is silver, white, and cream. The gemstone for this time is the pearl or the moonstone. Flowers, white flowers, roses, white roses, and lilies. That's a beautiful flowers to have. You may want to incorporate that into your ritual. Music, string instruments is a wonderful thing to listen to, and piano during this time. Foods, anything that's water based, watermelons, melons, watercress, seaweed, soothing foods like ice cream, rice. These are kind of homey foods that you would think about when you're at home that your mother may have made. So think about that. And given that this is a new moon that's coming in, there's a lot of ways to hone in that energy. So the next couple of things that I'm going to talk to you about are rituals. Is it for a couple? Right? You may want to take a bath together using rose petals in your bath, white rose petals, using some essential oils in the bath water. You may even want to feed each other ice cream, during the bath, or, licking the ice cream off each other, whatever. But just using this way of getting connected, because this is such a loving energy with this Cancer energy, this new moon. You may want to just cuddle while watching Netflix and just chill, relax with one another. Indulge into the serious time of communicating and being focused on one another's energy. And try to watch what they call those chick flicks, to kind of really enhance romance. My favorite movie is Like Water for Chocolate. I think that is the most romantic movie ever. If you have never seen it, there is subtitles, but it's such a loving movie. It's a great movie. Another one is oh my gosh, I can't remember. It's something cholera. I can't remember, but it's an episode movie. It's about a couple who love each other, but it's a time of cholera, something like that. I don't know. I'll look it up, but just find some chick flicks. Indulge your girl or your significant other about it. Listen to music together under covers or go to have a picnic. This is a wonderful time to embrace each other, to be with each other and incorporate a couple PDA kisses. Some people don't like public forms of affection, public displays of affection, but this is a good time to kind of show the outside how connected you guys are. Have intimate conversations. This may be a time to have some authentic conversations during the Cancer moon, new moon, whether it means to have it prepared or just kind of go into areas that didn't want to talk about before, but maybe under this new moon, the love of this moon may help you create a space of being open and transparent about things that need to be discussed and kind of listen to each other. This is the time to be authentic under this new moon and showing love. Add some homey touches into the house. If you have children, you may want to create with your children and have their artwork displayed around to kind of show them the love that they're showing through art, expressing it and having it available for them to see that this is a home space for you, for us, to reflect under the Cancer moon, the energy. Use things that are significant to you. One thing that I did when I came back. I brought 2 pieces for my sons. These were pieces that were made in St. Lucia's. My oldest is really into turtles, so I bought him a marble turtle. So this is something that's significant to him. This is the way that you kind of create and bring in that Cancer love of showing. The other one, my youngest, is, I think he's going to be, I don't know, something financial, but he's really about saving his money. And so I bought him a secret stash box. But for him, he's going to probably use this to save money that all of a sudden he'll be like, oh, I want to go buy something. I'm like, oh, you don't have any money. And he'll pull out all these singles because he's really good about saving his money. But whatever it is to add that homey touch into your house, that's the way to kind of bring that Cancer love, that Cancer new moon into your household. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we come back. You're listening to Attracting Your Life. I'm your host, Maija, and stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This is Attracting Your Life, and I'm your host, Maija. And before the break, we were just really talking about the Cancer moon Cancer new moon, and which is a super moon, and it's also a partial solar eclipse. So there's a lot of energies that are flowing with this. And I gave you like 2 different forms of rituals, one for just a general new moon and one specifically to kind of pull in that Cancer energy, specifically like pulling in that love, honing in that and tightening that love relationship that you may have in your life. So I hope I gave you some great ideas about that. You may be curious about the full moon. So in the North America area, the full moon will be July 27th around it starts appearing at 3:20 p.m. Central Standard Time, but the full moon is going to be called the Thunder Moon, and this is one of the most common names for this moon, and it's usually because it's attributed to the storms that come around during this time. A lot of electrical storms that were around this time. So that was named by the Algonquin tribe as the full thunder moon. The Chinese gave credit to this moon as well, and it kind of coincides with the Hunger Ghost Festival, which is a time that similar to November 1st, November 2nd, when through the Aztecs they go to it. A lot of Latin American cultures, they do this, that they go and they visit their ancestors and bring food for their ancestors. This is also done under this moon in July too, that they give food or give some type of drink to their ancestors to honor their ancestors. So there are many different names for this moon, but one of the things to really understand, another name for it is bear moon. One of the things to understand that this is a time of getting near to the harvest time. So people are really thinking about what they're preparing for when they're harvesting under the harvest moon. So looking at the fruits of your labor so far. And remember, under a full moon, this is the time for you to release things out of your life. So what does that mean? So things that no longer serve you, no longer works for you, this is a time that you may want to do a ritual of writing it out on an index card and burning it. Creating some type of ritual, whatever it is, a ritual of releasing things that no longer serve you or maybe hindering you for what you want to create in your life and whatever is that desire. One of those things could be your mouth, the tone, the words, the way you speak about yourself or about what you want to manifest in your life. You may want to release negative thoughts, negative beliefs about yourself or about situations. This is a perfect time to do that. Whatever you find to be a hindrance, this is a time for you to release that out of your life. So take a week before, 4 or 5 days before the new moon, which is July 27th, and start contemplating what you want to get out of your life. I hope I gave you some great ideas of how you can use the power or the energy that comes from the moon. If the moon affects the ocean, it all affects us. Remember, we're 75% water in our body. So just as it affects the ocean, it affects us as well. This is a time that you can really reflect, use it, and work with the energy. If you want some other ideas, I would invite you to look at Conscious Community Magazine. I'm a new author for that. I've been writing for them for a year. I took a break and I came back. But either way, you can always ask me questions. Reach out to me on my website at attractingyourlife.com. Thank you for listening to us this week, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Have an awesome week and take care.